Hello everyone and welcome to the new GRC video. And as you know that we are covering the series of GRC related topics. So in this particular video I will focus on some very important questions which are asked by the interviewer for the compliance officer or compliance manager's job. So if you are planning to give an interview for the compliance position, these questions and model answers may be helpful to you. So the question number one, which is generally asked by the interviewer, is tell us about yourself and why do you want to work in compliance. So you can see there are two different parts of this question. First of all, you have to tell us about yourself, or you can say you have to describe your personality traits, your skill set and mindset, and then you have to provide the answer of why do you want to work in the compliance function or compliance department, or you can say why do you want to join the compliance field. So you have to be very careful while giving the answer to this question. So first of all, you have to highlight your interest and skill set towards the compliance and regulations. Like you can say, I have always held a strong position for working in compliance, and the natural skills and qualities I have are a good match for the position. Position means the compliance manager's role or the compliance officer's role, whatever. Then you may say I am strategically focused to work in compliance department or compliance field, and I would protect the organization by ensuring that the internal policies and procedures are compliant with relevant industry regulations. So the first paragraph shows you a broader picture of your skill set and interest towards the compliance, and this answer is also giving the hints to the interviewer that you know that the internal policies and procedures of any organizations should be aligned with the relevant industry's regulations. Then you have to continue like I am a highly analytical person and I am very passionate about doing the research on different laws and regulations specific to the sector in which your organization operates. Like for example, if the interview is for a bank, or if the interview is for the compliance officer of a bank, so you can link the regulations with the central bank's regulations or some authorities' regulations. Then if I get an opportunity to work in compliance here, then I feel confident that I will help in creating and maintaining a strong compliance culture through regular research and review of policies, procedures in light of applicable laws and regulations. So this was the model answer for question number one, and I repeat, and the question number one was tell us about yourself and why do you want to work in compliance. Now let's move on to question number two, and the question number two is why do you want to work for our organization as a compliance officer. Now the question is specific to the organization in which you are giving the interview, and you may plan your answer like I genuinely believe that you can only work in that organization whose compliance culture is very strong and the appropriate compliance tone is set by the board of directors and implemented down the line by senior management. So first of all, you gave the background of the interest in the compliance department of a good organization. Then you have to link the first paragraph of your answer with the organization specific scenario. Like for example, you can say, based on my research I performed on your organization, I find that there is a strong compliance culture maintained. So how can you say that the strong compliance culture is maintained in the organization? So you have to link this part with your research that you performed. So you found in your research that the board of directors of the organization oversee the compliance issues, and also a management level compliance committee is formed in the organization. And how did you find these two very important areas? You basically researched on the financial statements of the company, you searched for the website of the company, and you found the names of the committee, which is the compliance committee, and you find a proper tone from the board of directors of the organization towards the compliance culture. Now you may move like further. What I found in my research is that there is a dedicated compliance function or compliance department which is established in your organization, and it is run under the supervision of Chief Compliance Officer, who is basically the head of the compliance department. And there are no negative media searches about your organization, especially related to any penalties or fines imposed by the regulatory authorities. So you can draft your answer, or you can give your answer in this way to the interviewer for the question, which was, why do you want to work for our organization as a compliance officer? Now, the question number 3 would be, what would you do in the first 30 days of starting as our compliance officer? So, what would be your plan? Now, you have to link your answer in some practical way, or you have to show, or you have to tell about the practical job responsibilities which a compliance officer assumes when he or she joins an organization, especially in the first 30 days. So you can say, in the first 30 days, first of all, I would obtain a clear and thorough brief from the senior management about the strategic mission and vision, because as a compliance officer, I would be required to support the senior management team considering the applicable regulatory requirements. Then after that, I will meet the compliance team to know them and the working style better. I will adopt the risk-based approach, and for that I shall read and understand the internal policies, processes, systems and control of the organization. Further, I shall take an overview of the policies and processes and try to map them with applicable regulations to ensure that they all are aligned together. Now you can see that in the previous questions also you highlighted the words like applicable regulations and policies and procedures, review of the policies and procedures. So you have to tailor-made these keywords in your answers, because these keywords will give the tone to the interviewer that you are aligned with the compliance language and you know how the compliance department basically works, or what are the key focus points for the compliance organization, compliance department or compliance function. So I shall also identify the current significant compliance issues, you can say, and how the compliance issues are fine. You can briefly discuss those avenues like the audit report, compliance committee's recommendations, regulatory authorities inspection related report, and so on. So this was the model answer for the question, and the question was, what would you do in the first 30 days of starting as a compliance officer? So I hope you got a very good idea about some very basic level questions or standardized questions which are usually asked for the compliance officer's position. And if you like this video, please subscribe this channel, and if you hit the bell icon, you will be notified for the upcoming GRC conceptual and very important video.